if you operate from love, if your genuine core, your very, very, very core is love, you're going to win. There's no way you can lose. There's no way you could possibly lose. Because that's your foundation. Life is so simple, but people tend to complicate it. It breaks my heart. I want to talk about an incident today. I'm a life insurance broker, but I don't want this conversation to revolve around that. I don't want this to be the main topic of the conversation. But I spoke to this lady today. She was very interesting, and she was very genuine. I really liked her. She had very good energy. She's in her 70s, and she reached out wanting to get a life insurance policy. Again, I'm not going to focus on that. I look at the human race in general, the mindset, how they think, and how they base their decisions on. I believe 90% of the population are misguided, whether they are misinformed or delusional, or they don't want to face the truth. That happens to all of us. It happens to me. It happens to you. It happens to all of us. But basically, a lot of people operate from fear. And the sad thing about it is when they get older, I've seen interviews with people in their late 80s, 90s, and during the interviews, they get asked, what do you regret in life? And a lot of them say missed opportunities, or not taking that vacation, or not making that decision. And you have to understand, life is very short. We're like a blink. You appear and you disappear. I have friends that are well off financially, more than well off, but they're not married. They don't have any children, no girlfriends. These guys that I hang out with, they have so much money. They can do whatever they want. I was approached by these guys to get a life policy for $50 or $100 million policy just to pay for taxes, just to give you an idea how much money these guys have. But these guys are so alone and they're so miserable. They're married to their dollar bill. They take the dollar and they kiss it before they go to sleep every day. No daughter, no son, no wife, alone. You love your dollar bill? Go ahead, love your dollar bill. It's very comical how people choose to live their life. But I used to get angry when I was younger now I'm my mid 50s. I'm beginning to find the sense of humor in life. I think life have a great sense of humor. I think everything was designed for a reason. Like take for example, that one squirrel that collects all these peanuts or acorn, whatever it is. I used that example on my previous videos, and that squirrel will collect all these acorn and the peanuts all summer long or all year long, and they're collecting, saving and saving, and the bear just comes in and they eat all the peanuts in 5 minutes. You have to understand, you can't save your way to wealth. It's impossible. You have to have the right mindset and make the right decision, the logical decisions to get you to move forward. I'm going to use the same example that I've always used. I use AAA Premier. That's just a simple thing that I subscribe for every year, yeah? I have a policy. I have 4 policies for me and on my 3 children. And it's something that I use quite often. Not quite often, but you know what I mean. If you have a used vehicle, which I do right now, from time to time you may have a flat tire. You could have a brand new vehicle and you still could have a flat tire, yeah? And just recently I was leaving a restaurant, and it was I don't know, 8, 9 o'clock in the evening, and I called AAA, and this young man showed up, and the tire was fixed in no time, and it was great service. By the way, I love AAA, and if you guys don't have the AAA service, make sure you get it. They don't pay me, and there's no promotion, but the moral of the story is there's solutions in this world, and unless you seek them out, you're going to struggle. So the lady that called me from California, she was married previously to someone that had a life insurance policy. It was $250,000 policy. Her husband became sick, and with the life insurance policy, it has living benefits, which all the policies that I offer come with living benefits, which means the money is available for you. You don't have to die to use the money. In the event of sickness or accidents, you can use the money immediately. It's called living benefits. You can advance your coverage while you're alive. So this lady used the money to take care of her husband, and she told me, she said, if it wasn't for that life insurance policy, he wouldn't have been able to live additional 10 years. So that insurance policy, that $250,000, was able to extend her husband's life for 10 years. Let me ask you a question. If you love someone very, 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 very much, whether it's your child, whether it's your spouse, it doesn't matter, it's just a family member, and you have some type of insurance that allowed you to extend that your loved one's life for a decade or 2, wouldn't that be amazing? Forget about the money. Like, who gives a fuck about the money, yeah? We use the money. Money is a tool. Money is a tool to buy you time and buy you happiness. Happiness is spending time with your loved ones. That lady had the foresight to purchase a life policy when they were younger. So when her husband became ill, she was able to rely on that policy to extend her husband's life for 10 years. And I totally can relate to that, because my father passed away at the age of 70, and he was approached many, many, many times by insurance agent. I was young at the time, and I didn't understand the value of life insurance. And he declined all the offers. Now that my father's passed away, my mother says, I wish he would have taken that policy. But she was against it herself. And he was against it too. I think she convinced him not to do it. But nevertheless, it's just, sometimes you have different mindset, different. But the point, what I'm trying to get to with this, I say this to convey one single point. When you make the right decisions at early years, it makes your life so much easier later. I always use the example of buying a pizza. Occasionally I would order a pizza. It would be like $50, $60 with the cheese bread or whatever. I don't even know what it's called. Anyway, like you can literally go through McDonald's and order a couple burgers and you're in $30, $40. Everything's super expensive. How about taking that $30, $40 just one time? Just take that $50 just one time. I'm not saying don't eat and don't drink and don't have fun. Still do what you want to do. But how about just one time, take that little bit of money that you're going to spend on entertainment, whether it's Netflix, pizza, burgers, whatever it is. Just take that little bit of money and put it in a place where the payoff is going to be so massive. Like maybe $1 million. The person that's watching this right now, if you're watching this right now, if you're in your 20s, if you're 25, 28, like under 30, yeah? In your mid to late 20s, and you want to get a policy for $1 million, you can text One Life to 910-447-6508, and I will set you up with a life insurance policy that will pay you $1 million in the event of sickness or accident. So it's the mindset. It's just how you think. If instead of buying a pizza for $50 and consume the pizza and be done with it, it's going to benefit you for a minute or two or a day or two or a week or two or a month or two. I'm not saying don't do that. Please do that. Enjoy yourself. But at the same time, just carve out just a little bit of your time to think wisely, to invest into right places. Yeah? It's not that difficult. It's very simple. Can you imagine, like, listen, let's take this scenario, yeah? Say you call me today, yeah? You get an insurance policy with me. You're 25 years old. I keep using that age just because it's like in your younger years. And that's what you really need to do it. People, the thing that breaks my heart is people always trying to get their policies when they're a lot older and it costs so much more. But say you're 25, yeah? You call me up, I'll set you up with a $2 million policy. You're paying 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90 bucks. Now you got $2 million coverage, yeah? A year or two later, you develop breast cancer or some kind of cancer or diabetes or something really major. You don't have to die. No one has to die. That $2 million is available for you. Imagine if you decide to get married. Now we have a house. Now we have a spouse. Now we have a mortgage. You have a vehicle to pay for. You have children to take care of. And you're building. And boom, you get sick. What's going to happen to all this? All this is going to disappear because you didn't pay the 50 bucks. I mean, when you get sick or get into an accident, the paycheck's going to disappear completely. So all these payments that are required, credit cards, mortgage, car payment, and so on, none of these going to get paid. What do you think is going to happen to all your assets? All these going to disappear because you're not producing a paycheck. But by spending that $50, you're protecting yourself. You're getting this money tax-free, by the way. You get a $2 million policy. When you get sick or get into an accident, you have $2 million. So you can pay all this off and you can take a vacation. You can travel the world. You can take 2-3 years off. You and your husband, your spouse, your children, you can just take a couple of years off and just reset mentally, just do whatever it is required to make you happy. So people think life insurance, people always call me up and they're always like, how much? You tell me how much. You decide how much. I don't decide how much. I don't call you up and say, oh, your life insurance policy is going to be $50,000 a month. No. You say, I want to pay 40 bucks. Okay, let's do 40 bucks. I want to do 30 bucks. I want to do 100 bucks. I want to do 200 bucks. I want to do 500 bucks. You tell me how much you want to spend and you decide how much protection and how much coverage you need. What is the face value that you're looking for and how much are you able to afford? The thing that's very important to me, I always recommend a term life policy for all my clients like Dave Ramsey does, because you spend the least amount of money, but you get the most amount of coverage. When you're younger, you can get a life policy, a life insurance policy, say for 40 years for I want to pause for a second. I want you guys to understand. I want you guys to think about what I just said. Don't eat pizza. One time, don't eat pizza. Don't get Netflix. Don't get HBO. Forget about the latte. Forget about the Starbucks. Just one time. It's going to yield the highest profit and the highest investment. The return on the investment is like 1,000,000x. You're putting in $1, you're getting in hundreds of thousands of dollars. You're putting in, if your monthly payment is $100, you can have $2 million policy. Can you guys imagine? And it's tax-free. Paid to you while you're alive in the event of, if you get into an accident tomorrow, $2 million in your bank. Heart attack, stroke, $2 million. There's so many, just learn how to invest your money. 910-447-6508. Text One Life to that number and I will reach out personally. I would love to help you. I really care about you. I love you. I want to help you. Understand, this is the best